I want to start today's video by saying some of you guys out there are going to make it big in this market cycle. As the price start to bounce, you already understand why these asset matters. You guys out there have done your research, diligence, and you hold the right assets for the right reasons. But once you understand this is that phase and why that's so in detail, you'll just reinforce a lot of what you know. But you also get to understand something. The macro environment is changing towards crypto assets. And one way or the other, central banks and some countries who are doing this is pushing other nations and big business into that area. So as they all enter into this arena, you guys are going to watch price action exploding. Yes, Bitcoin dominance is bouncing off from that trend line which we plotted last time, which kind of means, okay, those assets which are highly correlated with Bitcoin is going to run hard. We've actually shared this thought process before, but understand this. Some assets are running hot. When we shared this like 3-4 days back, we had the thought process saying, okay, this is how things are looking like. If that's breaking higher from this region of $15, that's an opportunity. And right now, I've already said, guys, skim your profits. Let it ride, but yeah, do skim profits because some of these assets are actually running up. Now, even in the top gainers, they're not actually showing you all the assets. I don't know whether it's a API issue, but if you actually go search them one by one, you actually can see they are up 50% for the day, 68% for the week. So you do get the idea that the market is exploding. And if you remember our thought process, it was clear. This was an opportunity. We called that the market is going to drop and it's most likely going to be a bluff on the macro scale, which means the market is about to rally hard. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. If you take a look at Bitcoin, Ether, all of these crypto assets, you kind of get to understand like, okay, the market is trying to push back up. And what's really interesting in this area is understanding, okay, this is the macro structure where we are. We're trying to bounce off from where? We are trying to bounce off from a support level. And that for me is like, okay, that's good because the price action did try going up and coming back down, which showed you the candle closed in the favor of bears. But it suggested that there's a lot of bulls coming in. And that's exactly why we were highlighting the fact that, okay, guys, watch this. I think the Bitcoin is showing you something positive. I think we are looking at a divergence. And a bounce from this support would reinforce that. And if you look back, we had this narrative saying 4 days back, watch for this. BTC is holding on to the support and that can bounce through this range. Once it crosses that range, yeah, we have a lot to say like bulls are getting crazy. Right now, you also understand one fact. What is that? The market is a huge opportunity. Not all assets look the same for sure, but if you have spent enough time in the market filtering through all these projects, now you have at least 10 to 20 assets which you think is going to do really well. Why does that matter? Because when the money flow is kind of being filtered, majority of it will go to Bitcoin. You are watching billionaires coming out and saying he only holds Bitcoin, MicroStrategy, that kind of thing, which is associated with Bitcoin, not other altcoins, right? But yes, they're huge. They're talking about big sums of money and they are watching for the highly liquid assets right now, which means as the volume increases and the crypto market grows, say 1 trillion to 2 trillion to 5 trillion, as it goes higher, now you have a lot of different assets with heavy liquidity pool. So you can buy them even if you are a billionaire and a big scale without moving the market much. You can accumulate that, reaccumulate that, and that's what's going to give you guys the right opportunity. So when I say that, if you're like, yes, I didn't really understand that, break it down. Yeah, let's look at this in one way or the other. So if you take XRP, we'll do XRP first and move on to different assets so you get the right understanding. So if you actually take XRP, the price action itself, on a macro scale, to understand like, what the hell is really happening on the macro, you can see something which shows you that we did break a long-term moving average to the upside. So for me, a weekly chart and a 50-day moving average kind of works a lot. Now, it can be optimized for sure. It can be a little bit higher. It can be 60, 65 days moving average, which may actually give you a bit more range, right? You can play around with this. If you want to actually change that, say, put it in a 60-day, you kind of see like, okay, we got resisted kind of perfectly. We got supported kind of perfectly. That's all working around, right? This is how you play with it. Maybe 60, maybe 65. You can optimize it because each assets tend to behave differently. But this is kind of the norm here. You kind of get the point. When you come close to 60-day moving average, precisely for XRP, you're watching it as acting as a support, as a resistance for an extended period of time. We are talking about last 4-5 years. So the market is showing you something great. Now, why is that important? When you broke that to the upside, you had a retest, you consolidated there, and then boom, you went up because now your direction has changed. Same. When you broke that to the downside after an extended period of time, staying above that, you came back, you retested that and got rejected. So you are consolidating and you're going down. But what's different? When you go down, you only have 100% to go down. But when you go up, you can go parabolic. It's asymmetrical. That's what makes these assets huge. And that's the attractiveness of all these assets. So now you're looking at XRP saying, okay, we crossed to the downside here back in Jan. We retested that and got rejected, and we did that huge downside. Great. Now that we have completed that, what are we looking at that? We broke back to the upside. We have retested this, and we are trying to bounce off. And as we bounce off, we are getting this retest. We had this retest back in the day. We bounced off. Then we came back down to retest it again. And that's where you created the big ROI structure. So for XRP, last time that was a 10x. Wave 1, 10x. Most likely wave 2 is 30, 40x. We have seen the average 50. If wave 1 is 10, that means wave 2 is going to give you around 50x in crypto assets. So if you really want to actually avoid all this noise and say, I want better clarity, go on to a line chart, because the line chart kind of gives you the idea that this was the range of accumulation. Now you're retesting that. Once you break that, it's always bullish. Yeah, if you break that to the upside. And that's where the monthly is also showing you like, be a bull here, because this is a range where the price shows you opportunity. In my opinion, if you buy there, you can ride through this wave to the upside. And that's exactly what the price action is showing you. Say, if you think XRP is so noisy in terms of price action, yeah, I agree that, because there's a lot of people are high, a lot of hype, FUD, all of that going in. But if you actually break this down on a technical side of it, you can say, okay, we got one leg here, we're preparing the next leg, that can be a double bottom, that can be great. Now, we have actually done this before, but then you'll also see a micro double bottom before it goes back up. Are we doing something similar? Yeah, I mean, we are, right? Say, if you have a hard time looking at that, go on to a shorter horizon. Say, pull in a 12-hour chart, you may actually see a double bottom here, and you may see a double bottom here. So when the medium term agrees with the micro, that's good outlook for the medium term. When the macro agrees with the micro, that's super bullish, right? That's what you have to actually look for. Say, again, if you believe there's a lot of noise in XRP, go to an asset which is highly correlated with XRP. I would actually say that's XLM. And we had a call here, right? I made this chart like 2 or 3 days back saying there's a double bottom forming. Most likely we're going to come up, test this range. And we are right now doing that. That means, yes, it looks definitely bullish. I mean, if you actually zoom out and look at this. Now, yes, XRP is the biggest part of my portfolio, crypto portfolio. And if I'm looking at this, I would say like this is a huge opportunity. For some reason, bulls are holding on to this level without even allowing it to dip below. Last time you did that and you still went on. And that, XRP and XLM kind of did the same thing during this time. But if you actually take the entire measured move, XLM did perform better than XRP. So in wave 2, we may actually see XLM outperforming XRP, but that's technical side. Now, what invalidate this as we go up is all these great news. Dilip Rao kind of give you the idea that Australian CBDC pilot report, they're actually looking at a lot of different things for sure, not just one. Facilitating atomic settlement, programmable payments. Like, they are looking at different area. The economy is slow. They want to actually increase the payment system efficiency in a way that, people spend a lot more. The economy kind of get revived. That is where, when you look at all this atomic payment, okay, great. What are we really looking at? XRP Ledger has already done that. Cross-currency payments within XRP Ledger are fully automatic. That means, either it gets fully executed or nothing gets go through, which is what the governments actually want, meaning there should be 100% certainty that if both end is correct, say you're A and you're sending money to B and the address is not C, you're put in the correct place, it'll go through. If you put it in C, it should not, right? So they're actually giving you the idea that there is a lot of possibilities, because when you go through the RippleNet, the old data, it's sure, but it's an IMF website, right? They presented this to the IMF back then when it was Xcurrent, Xrapid and all. And they give you the atomic transaction across multiple ILP ledgers. They're not talking about just the RippleNet. They're talking about ILP, the Interledger Protocol, which is connected to XRP Ledger for sure, which is connected to RippleNet for sure. But it goes through a lot of different areas, whether it's the corporate giants, whether it's the banking side, the payment institution, all of them are connected there. Even, on the other side, you can see the NGOs like Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, all of them are on it. That kind of gives you the understanding that this asset on fundamental side has a lot of potential. So TA can change. If we see massive volume and just one candle, we are anticipating 50% move. What if it move 100%, right? It changes the target to the upside. So that is the biggest potential for XRP. But as of now, it's just speculation for sure. So that's one of the primary reasons why we're like, okay, let's see what we can actually calculate and let's hold on to that. Say, for example, if you look at this, you would say, okay, there was a time where XLM showed you this pattern. Right now, you have at least 4 or 5 different crypto assets showing you this exact same pattern. I mean, that creates a lot of opportunity. And if you are looking for those kind of opportunities in the market, you can look at the link. It's in the description below, where we go through all of these opportunities and give you the idea whether you should take profit or not, because the market is running hot. While we say that, you do have to understand now the market is not at that FOMO territory. So you don't actually have a lot of pressure here thinking like, should I join? Should I not join? All those stuff. But as soon as you see a 20, 30, 40, 50% candles, which is right now happening in a lot of assets, then you won't have much of a question, right? You're like, I need to know what's happening in the market. But the difference is those who are serious about the market gets it. They try to be positioned well enough before a big pop comes in. The real issue is things actually change in 1 or 2 days. Think about this. When the price was here, we were talking about a V-shaped recovery. Go back to the date, like March 9, March 10, March 11. If you look at the videos, I was talking about a V-shaped recovery. So if you didn't believe me, in 3 days' time, the move from 20,000 all the way up to 25,000 was done. Then yeah, it did climb from there, but you can see the momentum was done, right? It was more or less over. So the primary factor is to understand, okay, the market is trying to do something. There is a divergence forming. We may start bouncing. And that's what we are talking about, right? Once you get these on the right time, you can position your portfolio in a way that when the market starts running, you're already in the market. You're not trying to chase the green candles. That's a hard thing. Because if you do try and chase the green candles, sometimes you end up getting at the top. The market drops. Emotion comes in, you sell at a loss. You don't want to do that, Remember the rule 1 from Buffett, never lose your capital. So guys, if you received value, please do hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done that already. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.